Hello fellow mutants, welcome back to another video, and this video is going to be a Star Wars themed video, and it's going to be how long Rey, the wannabe Skywalker, trained to be a Jedi compared to Luke, who was an actual Skywalker in Star Wars. And yes, that was supposed to be a shot because I'm still kind of like upset that she said, I'm Rey Skywalker, and in the Rise of Skywalker, because I feel like that was like a somewhat disrespectful to what Princess Leia said not too long ago in the movie, where Leia was telling Rey not to be afraid of who you are, and I felt like the way Rise of Skywalker ended, it would have been more powerful if she said, "I'm Rey Palpatine." Acknowledging she's a Palpatine, acknowledging that yes, her grandfather was a dick, but she's going to try to like show the universe that not all Palpatines are dicks. And I just wish that we got that, and I'm hoping that we will have Rey at some point saying, you know what, Leia did tell me not to be afraid of who I am. I'm a Palpatine. I'm going to stop using the name Skywalker. I'm going to use my birth name, which is Palpatine. I'm going to show the galaxy, the universe, that, like I just said, that not all Palpatines are bad. There are maybe bad apples, and my grandfather was a bad apple, but not all Palpatines are bad apples. And I'm so hoping we'll get that. So hoping. But that's not what this video is about, because I could easily make an entire video in itself about what I just said. This is comparing how long Rey trained to be a Jedi in comparison to Luke. So let's read. There's no source of strong opinions surrounding Star Wars sequel trilogy, and that's true. With the movies still generating discourse years after the story wrapped up, which I believe Rise of Skywalker came out in like 2019. Correct me if I'm wrong. A common complaint to be found around the trilogy surrounds the character Rey, and more specifically the impressive extent of her force capabilities. Many believe she learned to master that power too quickly. So here's a look at exactly how Rey's Jedi training took compared to Luke Skywalker's. An important note to first address is their heritage. With Luke being the son of the Chosen One, and Rey being the granddaughter of the most powerful Sith to have ever existed, this would be an unfair comparison in most cases. But in this scenario, it actually makes things fairer, as each of these Jedi have had a strong natural connection to the Force right from the get-go. So now we're going to talk about like Luke and his time with Jedi Masters. Luke began his journey at the age of 19 in Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, or when that movie originally came out, it was just called Star Wars. And up until this point, had only ever lived the simple life of a farmer. He claimed to be a decent pilot and good shot when he won Bullseye Womp Rat back home. And he had little to no experience with actual fighting. After starting his training with Obi-Wan Kenobi, Luke was able to deflect the training droid's blasters bolts while blindfolded. And by the end of the movie, he successfully destroyed the Death Star without the need of the targeting computer. The biggest difference between Luke and Rey comes with a gap in time leading in their next movie. Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back, takes place 3 years after A New Hope, and Luke's abilities don't appear to have progressed much. While he's able to force pull and fight with a lightsaber, he's not able to master any flashy techniques until meeting Master Yoda. From here, his training picks up exponentially, and him finally becoming a Jedi Knight a year later in episode 6, Return of the Jedi. So there's a 3-year gap between A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and a year gap between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. So Luke had 4 years. 4 years of training that he pretty much had. Or 4 years of studying the arts of the Jedi. As it refers to that as. So by there, we could see Luke had time to progress and advance in his Jedi abilities. Plus the years after that as well. But since we're just focusing on them being Padawans to knights, yeah. So now we're talking about Rey and how she was skilled Jedi from the start, which yeah, she was pretty much. Rey upbringing clearly plays a huge part in her Jedi capabilities. When she is first introduced in Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens, she lived the life of a scavenger who had to fight to survive. So her skills with a lightsaber far exceeded young Luke's. Later, when captured and brought to Starkiller Base, Rey can use Jedi mind trick before her training has even began. Although the novelization claims she learned this when Kylo tried looking in her mind. So CCN says, so Kylo Ren unintentionally taught Rey Force Jedi mind trick. It was known as Jedi mind trick. Okay. When it isn't until Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi, that her training begins, and here things are slowed down a bit. Rather than teaching her flashy moves, Luke tried showing Rey how to open up to the Force and feel it flow. She spends some time practicing her lightsaber techniques, but by the end of the movie, can lift a large pile of heavy rocks to save her friends, something Luke couldn't do with his X-Wing. Until, Rise of Skywalker. Finally, there was a 1-year gap leading into Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker, where Rey had been training with Leia to bring her up to Luke's powers in the Return of the Jedi. So, The Force Awakens and Last Jedi went back to back exactly, pretty much. Just, a week has passed about between the two events, if even. Because, the events of The Last Jedi took up right after The Force Awakens. And then there was, a year gap between The Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker. So Rey essentially had, 1 year. 2 years most. Or throughout the duration of the sequel trilogy. And I might be overestimating, calculating in my head. But a year and a few months to train as a Jedi, right? While Luke had 4 years worth of being a Jedi. Training and learning and honing in the arts of the Jedi. Sounds like Luke may have had more Jedi training. Now, I could be estimating how good of a teacher Leia's been, because if Leia could bring Rey up to where she was at in the Rise of Skywalker, in between Rise of Skywalker and The Last Jedi, then yeah, that kind of does prove how good of a teacher Leia was. But Luke had more years. So wait, was Luke just a slower student than Rey was? I don't know. So in the end, Luke took around 4 years to become a powerful Jedi Knight, whereas Rey took a little over a year to reach the same level. It can feel like things happen too fast with Rey, especially in the span of the few movies. However, Luke had to forego most of his training to focus on the rebellion, whereas Rey had the chance to focus on her training for almost the entire time. That paired with her survivalist background means there's at least a reason why she learned so quickly. And okay, I guess yeah. With her, they as critical as I've been about the sequel trilogy, I can kind of see where they're coming from with her like survivalist instincts, and then the year where like she was able to like focus more so on her like Jedi training in like a year span. Like Rey was able to like they said was able to focus more on her Jedi training than add more of like a one sitting than Luke did. And to that respect, I can see where this person's coming from. It just, I don't know, it just felt too quickly how like fast she had mastered some of these abilities, if that makes sense. Not saying that it's not doable, because some people are just naturally fast learners. I don't know. I guess I would have liked to have seen Rey taking at least 2.5 years, where she had mastered the abilities that she learned, besides just a year and a few months. At least 2 years. At the very least, I would have loved to have seen, have heard she trained for at least 2 years. So maybe like, I guess if there was like a more like 1 more year gap between Last Jedi, Rise of Skywalker, I would have been a bit more okay with the where she was at. But like I said, I know like I guess it's just a case where like this article said Rey had more time to focus on her Jedi training in one sitting than Luke did. Was I'm that could have been like one thing I've been like overly critical on the sequel trilogy for, but at the same time, there's a buttload of things like I'm still not like that I like have been critical on the sequel trilogy for, like not reuniting the original trilogy heroes together in one place. How the hell did Palpatine return? Like the lack of explanation in the movie. Them killing like Luke off in the way they killed off Luke, I'm kind of mad at. Not exactly him get killed off. And Rey not taking the Palpatine name, honoring what Leia told her earlier in the movie. And that's only some of the criticisms, but right now, as of right now, even though I probably still criticize it, I can go up a tad bit easy on the duration of the training for comparison between Luke and Rey. Just by a bit though. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section down below. Love you guys. Have a wonderful day. Be kind to one another. I will talk to you fellow mutants later. And may the Force be with us all.